Hello, everyone. It's me, Nick, with Talking Sports. Unfortunately, Sean's not here today, so I've had my friend Tommy come in and my
Hello.
friend Matthias.
Hello.
So they're gonna tell you guys a bit about themselves. Go ahead, guys.
Um, you go first.
No, you may go.
I'll let you go.
No, I want you to go.
All right, if you insist. I'm 13, play baseball, love sports in general, and just excited to be here.
Let's hear it, Matthias.
I am 14. I play tennis mainly. Also play soccer most of the times. But yeah, just excited to be here.
So I also wanted to add to Tommy that he's a dead heart Rangers fan, huge Rangers fan. So we're gonna try to include some hockey in the future just for Tommy. Yeah.
I am.
Aren't you a Rangers fan?
Yeah, but I'm not serious of a Rangers fan as I am a Yankees fan.
Okay. Well, yeah, Yankees are our favorite team, even though they stink. But so do the Giants, and that's why we're here to talk about. So the Giants went into yesterday versus the Commanders 1-5, which is some Joe Judge stuff. But these are the most recent stats going on from here down. So the Giants have been outscored nearly 1-2. We have 85 points scored all year with 177 given up.
Oh boy.
Which part of that 177 was from the 40-0 blowout against the home opener against the Dallas Cowboys. But part of that reason could perhaps be the 3 of the 5 starting O-line are hurt. But Justin Pugh is a hopeful sight because he's a multi-Pro Bowl winner. Not winner, but MVP. The Giants picked him up, I think, last Thursday, or I could be mistaken. But I found out the funny way because at the beginning of every Giants game, they have every player being like, McKinney, Ohio State, stuff like that. He said Justin Pugh right off right couch, which I found that funny because, he was sitting at his couch for a whole year. Now the Giants signed him. I guess we're really desperate. But we're getting hit by a lot of injuries. Daniel Jones is hurt. I was at the game yesterday. I don't like Jones too much this year. I kind of like Tyrod Taylor better, and their stats are arguably equally horrible. But Saquon Barkley being back was a big help because he had some important running plays. But we also need our left tackle Andrew Thomas to come back because he's a very important factor. He's a young potential. I feel like he can be a Pro Bowl player. He's very, very hopeful talent, very good talent. He just can't seem to stay on the bench or can't seem to stay on the field. Anything you guys want to add so far?
It's just been unfortunate, and hopefully in the next few years we can build a successful team and hopefully make a good postseason run.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. What about you, Matthias?
You stole my words. I was gonna say the exact same words.
Yeah,
I
sure.
Totally.
But Wandale Robinson exited the Week 6 game early because he's unfortunately catches the ball and slides because he's a bit too scared to get hit by the defenders. When he slid, guess perhaps he got the wind knocked out of him. The Giants never really said what was wrong with him, but he was back for Week 7 against the Commanders with a 14-7 win. The 14-7 win was the ugliest game I've ever seen in real life. I didn't watch it on TV because, like I said, I was there. But I've never seen the Giants use 3 different kick returners, and I've never seen them drop all 3. One of which was dropped by, I believe it was Darius Slayton, and Commanders got the ball at like the 15-yard line. They drove it in for a touchdown, which really made me scared because it was 14-7 in the fourth quarter with like 11 minutes left. So anything was possible, especially with how bad the Giants' offense is, throwing interceptions like it's free candy on Halloween. But I have a lot of hope for this week against the Jets because the Jets have no Aaron Rodgers. They have a kid of the JV level, Zach Wilson, that cannot throw a complete pass if his life depended on it. Garrett Wilson is not getting the ball too much because, like I said, Zach Wilson has minimal skill level. I know Matthias isn't too much into football, but do you have anything else about the Jets?
I am. I just okay. I'm not really into football, but I do like to watch some games. Casual.
Yeah. But I will have to add, though, Zach Wilson's stats are way better compared to Jones, which says a lot absolutely a lot. Well, Zach Wilson has 1,097 passing yards, 6 yards per attempt, 182 attempts with a 60.4 completion rate, 4 touchdowns, and it's sad when you have more interceptions thrown than touchdowns. But you know, like I said, Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones are very. I feel like Tyrod Taylor is potentially better because he's not. He's a. You have a practice squad playing O-line in a professional game, and all he does is work with the practice squad. So I feel like at this point he knows them more than Daniel Jones possibly would, because Daniel Jones has only 884 passing yards with I think it was only 4.5 games. When Tyrod Taylor came back for about 2.5, he has nearly as much yards as Jones, 571. That's only 250 yard difference, give or take. Yeah, so
I'd say about.
yeah, which is disgusting considering Daniel Jones' first round pick out of Duke in 2019.
Yeah.
And Tyrod Taylor is a scrub that's been in the league for a while now.
Yeah. I guess the Giants just don't know how to pick people.
Yeah, no, they always get these great players like
and then they don't turn out as they're expected.
Yeah, look, even I'm not sure if I don't remember the Giants drafted him off the top of my head, but Odell Beckham Jr. He had one good year, in 2017, something crazy like that a while ago.
Whatever year he made that one-handed catch.
Yeah, when he had that one-handed catch when we were in first grade that I didn't want to make a big deal about, then that's when he was good. But unfortunately, he fell off because I'm not sure if this is true or not. I don't want to spread any rumors, but apparently he just doesn't drink water off the field. He drinks the water that's in the Gatorade bottles, but at home, it's all purely Gatorade energy drinks, protein shakes. He thinks that water will increase his chances of injury, even though he gets taken out every other snap because he has cramps. I don't see the logic behind that. Not at all. I don't play football, but I play baseball, and all I know is that you have to run.
Yeah, and without water, you're definitely going to be cramping a lot. So
yeah,
he has to be out of his mind.
Yeah, there's really no science behind that. What were you saying? Oh, okay, sorry.
I wanted to add on to the game against the Jets. Hopefully, we have a chance of winning. I mean, they're 3-3, so somewhat similar record, and they're 4th place in the AFC East. So,
Yeah, well, I'm looking up the Jets' schedule right now, but I can tell you what, the Giants' schedule has not been lacking because Commanders are a good bad team. The Cardinals have not been horrible this year with when we had that great drive in the third and fourth quarter. That was great. I thought that we were after that game, I thought we were gonna win a couple of games in a row until we got smacked back into reality. We lost 21-3 against the Seattle Seahawks. But yeah, I'm just trying to find the Jets' schedule right now. Yeah, so their schedule has not been too great either because they versed. I'm going to the last year now. Hold up. The Jets' schedule has been the Bills, who have they've been throwing interceptions a lot too. Surprisingly, with Josh Allen, he threw 2 interceptions and a fumble that game, which is not like him. And then so they beat the Bills 22-16, lost to the Cowboys like everyone else did. Somehow lost to the Patriots. I don't understand that. But they versed the Patriots and the Broncos. I'm not sure if you want to consider the Broncos an NFL skilled team anymore after the 70-20 Miami Dolphins win.
We might have to drop the Broncos to the XFL.
Yeah, and look at the rest of the schedule too. They're versing the Chargers, who they're above average. The Raiders, who that guy, what's his name? The quarterback. I'm drawing a blank on his name. He's been in the league for a while. He was a backup quarterback most of his career because he's never been able to do anything. The Raiders. Yeah, Jimmy G. Yeah, that's him. The Falcons. They're a decent team, but no, they could definitely be beaten. And the Texans, like I said, similar to the Falcons, they're a good bad team. And then a very important game because if the Jets continue to play like this, they definitely have a playoff potential. I feel like the last 2 games of the year would be very big for them. In week, I believe 17, they're versing the Patriots. And then their second to last game was against the worst team in the NFL, the Browns. The Browns. That's all I need to say. The Browns and the Bears. have been absolutely sitting down in their bed where they belong. They've not been playing competitive football to the degree. But 2021, looking back at this, they did lose to the Broncos 26-0. That's kind of sad to see.
Yeah, it's shameful.
Yeah. But the Giants Jets game should be very fun. I can tell you where it's going to be. MetLife.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm right about this entire podcast. It'll be in MetLife. Hopefully. If I'm wrong, then that's very embarrassing. Oh, yeah, definitely. The Giants do have the toughest schedule. I mean, they versed the 49ers when CMC was still healthy.
Yeah. They're scheduled to play the Cowboys again November 12th. So
The sad thing is CMC's been hurt for a game and a half now, and he still has some of the better stats that I've in the NFL. Which just show he's like a 45-year-old man playing with a bunch of 10-year-olds. No one can tackle him down to the floor. You can 10-on-1 him, and he's still gonna get the ball. Similar to Tyreek Hill against the Giants. Tyreek Hill, he made McKinney look like a fool. Like absolutely, they were neck and neck for as soon as he got the ball and got dusted by 20 yards. It's not even funny because he makes 18 miles per hour look very easy to run.
yeah, and looking at the Giants' schedule, it doesn't look good. Jets, we might have a chance. Raiders, what do you think about that?
Well, if the Jets can beat the Raiders, so can we.
Yeah.
What about the Cowboys though?
The Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys
Well,
were.
the Cowboys might be I'm not saying easy team to beat, but it could be easier ever since Trayvon Diggs, their main quarterback's gone down. Micah Parsons been on and off the questionable list with the ankle problem, and so
They might have to find a guy last minute. Commanders, Patriots. Patriots we should beat. Shouldn't be too bad of a game. Against the Packers, what are we thinking?
So yeah, their new quarterback, I believe it's Jordan Love. Yes, I think it's Jordan Love. Let me just check it up real quick.
Yeah. Going on the rest of the schedule.
Yes, sorry, it was Jordan Love. He's been in the league for a year or two now, give it or take. But he's obviously even behind a future Hall of Fame quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, who fourth snap of his new career with the New York Jets, torn his Achilles in half.
Yeah.
Which if they do have, I want to mention this real quick too. If they do make the playoffs, they went to this doctor, the same doctor Jason Dominguez went to. He can have a chance of coming back in time for possible playoffs or possible Super Bowl run. I don't think the Jets are Super Bowl material, but they have a lot of talent. But Jordan Love has been doing better than most of the quarterbacks in the NFL with 1,263 passing yards, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
And his interception, the touchdown, he has 10 touchdowns with 7 interceptions. So for a young quarterback, 7 interceptions isn't great, but it's it'll do. It's very similar to Mac Jones in a way because he started off not too great, but look at him now. He's apparently one of the best in the league.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers was back on the field recently throwing, so that could be a good sign for them. Could be a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, throwing. He's getting up there in age now.
Yeah. He's an old
Throwing.
man.
Unfortunately, he didn't. I shouldn't say unfortunately. He's throwing because his arm is completely fine. If anything, it's fresh as a baby.
Yeah.
But his legs are destroyed. He can't. What happens if he's about to get sacked?
Yeah.
And he can't run. He's just gonna stand there and take a knee like he's a punt returner. Yeah, but the Jets have a possible good future. The Giants, if they need to draft offensive linemen, it's not been this 1 year. It's been since 2016. They've had little to no skill. I shouldn't say no skill, but they've had constant injuries on the O-line. You need to have backup O-line.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that the starting O-line are not, well, I guess starting. Flat out, they suck. I don't know how else to word that without offending people. They suck. They should not be there. They're supposed to be on practice squad. But, yeah, the Giants need to find someone. I'd like to do with Justin Pugh because I feel like he's pretty underrated. He's definitely, when the left tackle went down, Pugh came in for the left tackle because we signed him as a guard, but he's it was a game on adaptation. It's a rapid adaptation.
Yeah.
He went right to where the Giants needed him, which is as a Giants fan, you can be losing by 40 points, but if you see your team trying their best, that's all I care about. But like if you see them taking knees like every time, then I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just going to compare that to the Yankees. One of the games I went to this year, I think it was Giancarlo Stanton was on second. It was a little blooper into right center, ran the gap, and he jogged to third, and then he was jogging home halfway down the base path. He started walking practically, and
Yeah, and there was also, forget who it was. It might have not even been. It could have been last year for all I remember, but I see it resurging on YouTube all the time, where he was on second base, ball literally hit the fence on the fly. He gets to third. It looks like he's running with like crutches on. He got, if anyone could have beat it out, I swear. Even Daniel Vogelback's faster than this dude. I swear. But
that's a low blow.
he got thrown out by 15 feet.
Yeah.
He wasn't even running. He literally stood still, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, where's the effort?
And we did lose the game 3-2 because of that. I wouldn't blame anyone because that his legs are gone. I mean,
Yeah.
if he tries to run, he's out for the season. So I mean, unfortunately, I don't like. He looks like he's not hustling, but he's just trying not to get hurt.
And I don't really think that's any fault of the training squad. I think that's just because the training squad isn't responsible for you as a player. After a game, you go home. You have to take care of yourself. You can't just decide, oh well, I'm just going to sit. You have to do recovery stuff, too. You can't just go home and say, oh, whatever, I'm sore. And, wake up the next morning and go to the gym and squat 300 pounds.
The training staff are there for obviously making you better as a player and less injuries. But back to the NFL, big injury problem. ESPN described it as a glorified sneak where the quarterback is pushed forward by teammates and lined up behind him. I call it a QB sneak. I hate this rule because it's impossible to block. I mean, you can put your entire team in one spot to try to keep the quarterback from going the extra 2 yards for a touchdown and first down, and then you can't do anything. And there's been a couple arms and ankles problems from that because people just you have like five fat guys that are 300 pounds land on you.
That could do it.
Oh yes, it's horrible because they lined up to that like twice. Forget which game, and one time they missed it, and one time they did a play action, and they missed. And then they dropped the ball again. But what I'm scared about is because I know it's gonna happen. No other team, but it's gonna be the Giants. I'm willing to guarantee you. Daniel Jones is gonna come back. They're gonna go to do this stupid play, and he's gonna go in there and like snap his arm off. Because someone is going to get seriously hurt, like I said.
Yeah, and it's not like they're taking it easy. It's not two-hand touch football. It's not flag football. These are big guys. They're around 6 foot. They're all over 300 pounds, and it's not like they're wearing sneakers. They've got spikes on, so that adds to the injury.
Yeah, definitely. And that, going back to what you said about the spikes, MetLife is all the players took a vote. It is the least favorited field because apparently their turf there is really bad because the turf pellets. They said the turf pellets, and even if it didn't rain, they can't get a good grip with the plastic molds on.
Yeah.
So people are slipping in I'll put up footage on the screen once I edit this video at home, but Saquon Barkley is he looks like he's on a slipping slide. Like you can't run straight if you're slipping.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And stability is important for quarterback, especially
and running backs too.
Yeah,
At
running
any
back
position, you have to be able to hold your ground.
Yeah, especially if you're on like the line or anything like that, because you're putting all your weight forward and you have to have something to have a grip. So.
Yeah, but if I were the Giants, first off, I want to say they lost against the Bills because the refs, they didn't call that PI in the last play against Darren Waller. I have a picture on my phone because I get mad at it every day, so I look at it and show my friend Nate because he just argues with me saying we stink. But I show him that picture. I'm like, we did okay, even though we scored no touchdowns that game. We got all of our points off of field goals. But we almost beat arguably one of the best teams in the NFL, possible Super Bowl contender. I know I said that so much times in this podcast, but they truly are. Anyone can. We're so early in the season where anyone can turn it around and have a possible chance at the playoffs and/or Super Bowl. But the Giants did line up for like a little push. It's called a push tush. That's a funny name, but yeah. So they lined up for that, and they did which I love this play. They did a play action where they had everyone else together. They had Darren Waller together, and then he ran an outside screen because they were only like 3 yards away. There was that PI that they did not call with it. Had they called it, and we got a replay due to the rule, it's 0 seconds left on the clock, automatic, like 4th down, you get 1 extra play.
Yeah.
That could have won us the game, but no, I guess the rest just wanted to go home, eat their little chocolate chip ice cream. But anything else you guys want to add before I go on a rampage again?
Yeah, I have heard about the field at MetLife Stadium being not a favorite of players across the league. And I know it's expensive, but being a team that's in like the New York metropolitan area, I mean, you should be able to have enough money to spend on new turf. And it's not like it's, permanent, because they could take it out in sheets and whatnot for different events. So I feel like they should have enough money to get better turf, or they could go with grass, but that's just, it takes too much work to take care of grass, especially during the winter.
Yeah, so touching up on what you said, wow. Although it is expensive for a football field. I'm okay, thank you, Matthias. Although it is expensive, the turf, I know a 200-foot all-around baseball field is about $300,000. It's cheaper for a football field because you can just put all grass down, you spray paint it. Yeah. That's what they do between the Giants and Jets games. They spray paint the end zones green and then just re-spray paint it again.
Yeah.
But the Giants are worth $6.8 billion, and I can't see that honestly because
billion with a B is absolutely insane.
Yeah, billion. Every New York sports team is. The Mets, the Giants, and the Yankees, they all have been, and the Jets too, all been a disappointment. But so the Giants worth $6.8 billion. They have they have the worst field according to the players, and I'd probably say the ugliest stadium too, because they tried to take a neutral color between the Giants and the Jets. But I don't know why they did choose like moonlight gray or whatever stupid color it is. It's so ugly. Yeah. But what they could do, I wish it was like a white stadium even, because then they can like flash like high beam lights against it to make it like different colors.
Yeah, kind of similar to what Madison Square Garden has.
Yeah, or like even SoFi Stadium where the Rams play. But I'm not worried about the stadium. I'm worried about the player, because my first impression, if I were to never watch an NFL game and I go to the stadium and I see, I don't even know how to describe it. It's ugly. If I were to go there and I see it, I would just say the team's horrible right off the bat. And you go inside and watch them lose 40-0, then you definitely know you're right.
Yeah. And then they're losing out on money because people think, oh, this team sucks and their stadium is awful, so why am I going to watch them?
Well, I want to say I gave them some money on Sunday because I went there. They had a 1.5-foot long hot dog.
Oh my
for like $18. It was the best thing I ever had in my life.
$18 for a 1.5 foot?
Yeah, I mean,
Yankee Stadium was $18 for
it's
one.
It's $18 for a water.
$18 for a water?
Yeah, that's the Yankee Stadium prices.
Yeah, it's excessive.
Yeah, well,
but they gotta pay big salaries.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what inning it is; they'll charge you $1 million.
Yeah.
And then I also found out, because we got yelled at by security yesterday, because me and my entire family go down to Giants games.
Yeah.
But Sean was there. We were all excited. Luckily, they did win. But because we decided to rent out a bus.
By a miracle.
Yeah, by a miracle. But we decided to rent out a bus, and we were smart. So like we wanted to buy a bus and tailgate, so that way we don't eat much during the game. We just eat before and after.
Yeah.
But
did you bring a grill?
No, we had like chicken cutlets, chicken wings, and like sandwiches.
What type of wings?
Just regular. Just regular,
With
just
sauce?
chicken.
No
No, I
sauce?
don't think any.
Ah.
Which it was fine. It still tasted good. But
Yeah.
back to what I was saying. I
I
want
want
some of
food.
those wings right now. But back to what I was saying. We decided to buy we paid for 2 parking spots.
Yeah.
And they said, sorry guys, you need to have 2 vehicles present. And I'm like, yeah, let me just pull
you
a car
kidding
out of
me?
my butt. Like, we paid the same amount as everyone else's. There's still open spots. So why can't we just set up our table? But
Well, it's not fair to, people if they have tickets and then they get there and then they're like, oh, sorry, no parking. Where are they gonna park?
yeah,
On
but
the
we also
highway?
we paid for the tickets too. But
Yeah.
this is where I was going with this. They built a brand new racetrack there because it used to be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
right behind the stadium. They moved it a bit now.
Yeah,
And,
it's like a whole complex there, right? And
Yeah.
the practice facility is like right next door.
So I'm not sure how much parking tickets are for Giant Stadium, but there's the prices vary. But I'm gonna say let's just pretend they're $75, right? You can park right in front of the racetrack for free.
Oh wow,
It's a bit of a walk. It may be like a third of a mile, but like to save a lot of money.
third of a mile isn't that bad.
Yeah, no, Plus, you eat so much during the game, you might need that walk. Yeah, but I learned a lot yesterday. It's that don't get angry at your uncle. You gotta always root. You gotta always believe in your team, and yeah, I mean they might work a miracle again this week. Like I said, against the Jets. Let's hope we can get that win because if we win, I'm calling it. We have a Super Bowl run going.
I don't know about that. That seems a bit far fetched.
You gotta believe in your team. Come on, bro.
Yeah, but once I see them starting to perform better and not be beaten 40-0 by a team that we definitely could have won against, so I don't know about that.
So I told before the podcast, I forgot to say this until now. I told my teacher and Tommy and Matthias that the Giants are not on the leaderboard at all for anything. For like I think it was top 35 actually. Now I think about it, except for when it comes to interceptions and fumbles. They have more interceptions and fumbles than they do touchdowns scored. Like amount of touchdowns scored. I think they have only like 4 touchdowns, or no, they have like 5 touchdowns scored all season. They have 4 interceptions and like we're probably in the double digits now for fumbles because we had 3 fumbles
Yeah.
yesterday.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Once I saw that, I was contemplating just leaving the game in the second half. I would have waited in the van for everyone else. It was tough. It was very emotional for me, but yeah.
Yeah, the Giants are not a good team this year.
If
Past couple of years, they haven't been that great.
when I
but-
walked in the MetLife today, I'm not sure if it's newer, but maybe I just never recognized it. But I'm not sure if you guys know, but like some MLB stadiums, they have like a small football field for like kids, like a
Mhm.
home run derby type thing.
Yeah.
They built a turf, which looks better than MetLife's actual game turf.
Oh my goodness.
And they set up a field goal so that way kids can kick field goals. I'm like, yo, maybe Graham Gano should use this after he misses I checked the footage too. Yeah, you can see it on Google Maps right there. They're looking at it. It's 25 yards of just pure, beautiful, turf.
Actually 30 yards.
Oh yeah, 30 yards. Yeah, and Graham Gano absolutely missed the field goal. I watched it when I was in the car. Nobody was close to him. No pressure, nothing, because they weren't trying to block it like the game was on the line.
Yeah.
He absolutely just missed the thing, and I feel like because the stadium is built east to west, so that's how the wind works there. But the training facility, because the field goals are obviously outside, it's built north to south, so there's a huge wind difference from the game to the practice. But yeah, I don't know what to do anymore. I wanted to do the field goal because I could easily make that, but if I didn't, then I would embarrass myself in MetLife Stadium.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
I
always
don't know.
think about that because whenever they say, "Oh, the wind's a big factor for Daniel Jones today," I'm like, "Yeah, that's part of the home field advantage. You're supposed to be used to that by now because there's
Yeah.
always constant wind from I think it's the northeast because of the MetLife is very close to the
River.
bays and rivers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is part of the home field advantage as well as the
Yeah.
cold climate, but
You should be used
that's
to
what my
that.
dad says. My uncle say, I'm like, so explain to me why our players are getting hurt in the cold just as much as
Yeah.
other teams are. If
Yeah.
anything, we have our There's
should be
the other
used to
teams.
it at
The
that
other
point.
teams getting some bumps hurt, and we're getting like Daniel Jones hurt and like Andrew Thomas hurt.
Yeah.
But I just can't see, the I don't know. Maybe they should go through the roof because the average average NFL team is 5.1 billion. Like I said, the Giants are 6.8 billion. So obviously they have some cash lying around. I would assume.
Yeah. But also the roof, I don't know how much it costs to put a roof on a stadium, but we could check on that. But I mean, I don't know that they're going to be willing to spend every last penny they have because, they got to fill big salaries for some of their players. They got to pay people that work at the stadium.
Yeah.
And
I would think that if they were to build a roof, they could also build make a better turf,
yeah, put in new turf.
But, yeah.
Speaking of roofs, obviously talking sports, we're just based off in New York and we don't do anything else. But on May 1st, that's not good. On May 1st, the Mets hinted that they might be adding a retractable dome to Citi Field, which that could be exciting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Citi Field once. It was a pretty nice stadium. I think it was when the Yankees and Rays played there because I think there was hurricanes in Florida, so they couldn't play there, and there was an event at
I
Yankee
heard
Stadium.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was when we were in 3rd grade.
I don't remember. The only time I've ever been to MetLife, not MetLife, Citi Field.
Citi Field, yeah.
It was kind of funny. I had to go there to march on it. I haven't been there since, but
Yeah.
it was a while ago. I think Jeff McNeil was the only player. Michael Conforto was still on that team.
Mm.
Jeff McNeil it was a minute.
Yeah. So that had to be a while ago.
Yeah, it was probably 2015, 2016, give or take that. But
Yeah. But
I feel like all baseball fields at this point could be domed because people, it's easier to see because I practice in the domes during the off season. It's easier to see the ball as opposed to fighting the sun.
well, it depends on how the lighting is.
Yeah.
But also think about certain stadiums that have domes. Like if we think about Minute Maid Park and what's the one in Toronto?
Tropicana,
Rogers Center.
Rogers Center.
So those are beautiful. But if you think about Tropicana Field, it's hideous.
For a turf field, it's very ugly, and I also hate you have a bad field when the league has to give specified rules for where the
your
ball
stadium.
hits.
Yeah.
If it hits the first bridge, you're out. Second bridge, base hit, and like third bridge is a home run. Something
Yeah.
stupid like that. I just can't see that being a thing. All you need
Yeah.
is dirt and grass and a fence, and boom, you have a baseball field.
Yeah.
Not sure why you need that.
Well,
I
feel
understand
like
the
as an MLB
catwalks
team,
are necessary for the repairs,
yeah,
but like if you hit, I don't know, I
it's a
don't even
pain
know.
during the games. But I mean, besides just needing a fence and dirt and grass, I feel like if you're an MLB team or a pro team, you need a couple thousand seats, just a couple thousand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that field, I
Attendance
feel like
for the Rays is
that
absolutely
stadium
awful.
looks gigantic. Even when I see like above head images, it doesn't look like you can seat that much.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, and I mean they don't need that many seats considering postseason game. They got what 10,000 people.
Yeah, they have less people in a postseason game.
Than they do regular season.
No, they have less people in a postseason game, but the Yankees have more in a game that doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Like Yankees
Regular
already
season.
lost the season and we're sold out every game.
Yeah.
I think the lowest amount of Yankee seats taken this year, I think was like something crazy, like 25,000.
No, I think it was the last home game of the year. There were like only a few thousand people in the stadium. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, and I think it was Austin Wells hit a home run, and they still got loud for him with, the bleachers being totally empty and the only seats being filled really at the nosebleeds.
Yeah. Have you
So-
guys ever been in the bleachers?
I've never actually been out there for the full game, but I've been out in that area. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, what about you? Have you ever been to a professional sports event, Matthias? Or
Honestly, I've been to the Yankees game once, but I didn't understand anything.
well, how long ago was it?
It was like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Mm.
It was like 7th grade. It
Yeah.
was like, yeah.
You know what else happened? Oh, it might have been 3 years ago.
What?
Now that you said that, I have to talk about that. Remember when
What is it?
Rugadador called timeout and they didn't grant him timeout, so he stepped out of the box, stepped back in, and then just like hit a home run.
Oh yeah, they
and
quick
they
pitched
made
him.
him redo it, and then he grounded out, or like
Oh,
struck out, or something stupid like
yeah.
that.
They quick pitched him, and
No. So he went like that, timeout,
Yeah.
timeout, had 1 foot out of the box. Umpire said no, and then he swung the bat, and it still went like over the fence.
and then
No.
they was that when he was playing for Texas?
No, I think it was the 1 year that we picked him up, and then he went to the Orioles.
Oh right. So
I am surprised the Orioles got eliminated already
Yeah.
in the playoffs. I thought they were gonna have a possible ALCS
I mean,
time.
you have Gunnar Henderson, you've got Adley, yeah.
And their pitching's good for the first time in forever. You know,
Yeah.
Kyle Gibson, Kyle Bradish, they're pretty good rookies.
Yeah.
And and they're very good. I'm excited to see them next year because now they're all they all tasted the MLB. They all seen it. Less pressure on them. But I feel like people like Ryan Mountcastle, who's been in the MLB for a while now, and Frazier, they can really help that team out by boosting motivation.
Yeah, and especially guys with experience should be helping the
veterans,
younger
yeah.
guys out. Yeah, giving them advice and whatnot. But it just seems like the older guys, like I know this is a bad person to talk about because not the greatest example, Aaron Hicks, like
And Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo, too.
yeah,
But Aaron Hicks, we're still paying most of his salary. We're paying... What are you typing? Sorry. I think we're still paying, like, something crazy, like $7 million of his contract just for him to verse... We're paying him to verse us.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, I'm not focusing on that. But, people... And then also, Joe... Okay, well, that's our cue to head out, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This has been
Yeah.
Talking Sports with Nick, Tommy, and Matthias.
It's been fun.
It's been fun. See you.
All right, thank you guys.